I am here on a great Wednesday. I believe today is Wednesday. I hope. If I don't know, that's a problem. Today I'm going to be doing something a little different. It's still superheroes. I'm doing like the superhero era thing. I'm going to be listing the 5 best superhero villains. Either appeared in TV shows or movies or have been around for a really long time, and I'll try to explain why they were the best. There is really no ranking. I will just list them off. You can decide whether I was right and wrong or it should be in a different order. I know some of you guys might agree with me on some of these. Some of you guys might not agree with me. That's okay. All here having fun. Leave a comment below if you want me to do something different, something else. I'll be doing the 5 best villains and the 5 worst villains. So let me know if anything needs to be changed or in a different order like that. So let's get started with number 5, or my first top one, who I think is the best. That would be Green Goblin. He was in Spider-Man in 2002 with Tobey Maguire. William Dafoe played Green Goblin. Now, there's been different variations of Green Goblin. The one that they did in the movie, where he was all green, he had like a little pointy tip helmet, and the mouth was open. The mouth was open, and it had like the teeth hanging out. And he can talk, and the mouth wouldn't move; it'd just stay there. It'd be like a claw, like a mouth open with teeth. And then he had yellow eyes, kind of eyes that would vise up, and you can see his actual eyes. In this version, he got exposed to gas, like this gas chamber stuff that make him enhance his strength and durability. But it also give him the darker side of him, which would make him stronger and be all psychotic. He has a glider. It's purple, and he can glide, and has missiles and rockets and guns and all that type of stuff. He's strong, a little bit stronger than Spider-Man, but not too strong. In the movie, he has these little like razors things that he can throw. He has bombs. He has disintegration grenades that he uses to kill people. He's very menacing. He's one of the best characters I've ever seen performed by William Dafoe, or just any character. Probably one of the best. Green Goblin's amazing. He's one of the biggest foes of Spider-Man, the top foe. He's very smart and intelligent. Maybe not as intelligent as some of the others, but he can manipulate his way, villain and good, to turn on each other. Like good versus evil. There have been other variations of him where he's green and purple. That's the most common used one, is green and purple, but in the movie version it's all green. You can say the Green Goblin. I don't think they wanted green and purple. I don't think it would look good. So that was number 1 or 5 or whatever, how you want to deviate. But the next villain is a little bit more lethal. I would have to say Deathstroke. Deathstroke is the most lethal one. One of Batman's enemies. Deathstroke is a mercenary. His name is Slade Wilson, aka Deathstroke. He has guns. He has a sword. He has enhanced abilities. He doesn't feel as much pain. He has more strength than Batman. He can withstand a few knives and bullets into him. He's also the one of the villains who lost an eye. There have been many variations of Deathstroke. Usually the one I'm talking about is the one against Batman, where he takes out a contract to fight Batman. I'm talking about the Arkham Origins version, where he tries to take out Batman for $50 million. There's another version in the Arrow, on the CW Arrow version, where Slade Wilson actually mentored Oliver Queen a little bit, taught him a few fighting styles and stuff. In each variation, he loses an eye somehow, with an explosion or a sword in the eye or an arrow in the eye. But he is one of the villains who actually has only one eye. It's either this side or this side, but he's always having one eye. The mask that he wears is one side is all black to cover that one eye that has been destroyed or whatever, or to cover the one eye that's broken, and the other eye is open, where it's yellow, and it's open so he can see. He's very tough. He's agile. He's probably one of the Batman villains that can actually go toe to toe with him. I'm not talking about like Bane or Killer Croc or, Ra's al Ghul. I mean, other than Ra's al Ghul, like I said before, he is one of the guys who can actually go toe to toe with Batman and could possibly defeat him one-on-one, which makes him all the more powerful. He can take out probably the Justice League if he had enough time and resources to actually study them, and actually would probably be able to take them out. He was in the military. He was a failed military experiment gone wrong, which makes him have that enhanced ability to take out certain enemies like that. He's an assassin. This leads to back to Marvel with number 3 or 2 or 1, however you want to deviate this ratio. Would be the big baddie of Marvel in the MCU, Thanos. Yes, Thanos, the big baddie, the mother of all baddies of the MCU. The one who actually snapped his fingers. Snapped his fingers. And erased half the population. Guy who can kill people with a thought. Asking someone to do this and he doesn't. He can do it himself. One of the best character developed villains I've ever seen. In the MCU movies, we get glimpses of him in Guardians of the Galaxy was where I think he first started making his mark, and then so forth in Age of Ultron, where in the post-credit scene he goes like this. He opens, like a cage opens and the Infinity Gauntlet's there and he goes like this. And he says, "I'll do it myself." And as you can see, he has none of them, and he finds his way to get all the Infinity Stones. At the very end, like in my last video I mentioned, he takes out the Avengers very easily, but it is challenging for him in the beginning, and then as it goes on, it's very easier. He's able to just slap them around and get what he wants. And then Endgame is where he really comes out and he shows us his true power. One of the best villains, MCU villain character developments I've ever seen. That's pretty much it for Thanos. There's nothing else I can say about him. He's a titan. He's a massive titan killing machine. So, yeah. So, next one after Thanos. I know some of you probably think, why is Thanos only 3? Why are there people after Thanos? Well, it's true. There are, I wouldn't say necessarily more evil than him, but in my interpretation of these characters, I think they were more entertaining. So I would say probably the next one after Thanos would be Doc Ock, or Dr. Octopus, Dr. Octavius, as many people have interpreted him in many different versions. But the version I'm talking about is in Spider-Man 2, 2004, with Tobey Maguire again for a sequel. This version of Doc Ock, Dr. Octavius, he wants to create a second sun, another power source for the entire world. Another energy source, power source that he can control with himself. That's where he gets the arm and the vertebrae, the titan thing that connects the arms, goes around his back and comes up to his neck here and connects to his cerebrum. And he's able to control his arms at will. Obviously, something goes awry and the sun electrocutes him, which makes the arms not have control. But the arms are connected to his cerebrum, and he's able to rob banks, and the arms are able to control themselves and do certain things. In Spider-Man 2, he goes up against Spider-Man many different times, and they're so equally matched because, Doc Ock doesn't fight as much. He doesn't move his arms, his actual arms. His other arms do the fighting for him, and Doc Ock hold his own against Spider-Man. There's very good action scenes in Spider-Man 2. Like when Doc Ock takes Aunt May from the bank and holds her hostage, climbs up a building, and that whole fight scene on the rooftops, on the side buildings, it's fantastic. It's a great fight scene. Very well choreographed. And even on the train fight scene, it's very choreographed very nicely. Doc Ock is very smart. I wouldn't necessarily, I would say, to be honest, he's smarter than Green Goblin. Green Goblin is kind of in the moment type thing, where Doc Ock prepares himself. He's a few steps ahead of what he needs to get in order to get what he wants. If you watch The Spectacular Spider-Man, he is the man who organizes the Sinister Six. Doc Ock organizes Sinister Six. He's the one who gets Sandman, Rhino, Shocker, Electro, and himself, and Vulture. He's the man who gets that team together to take out Spider-Man. Obviously, if you watch Spectacular Spider-Man, it doesn't work out the first time, and then he gets different Sinister Six characters, like Kraven and a bunch of other different types of... And Mysterio he gets to take out Spider-Man. That's the only time that ever happens, and Doc Ock has come close very many times. So I think that's why he's before Thanos, or because he's the guy who almost can take out a superhero, especially Spider-Man. Spider-Man's very hard to take out. Which leads to the best superhero villain in actual live action and animated versions. It will be the Heath Ledger Joker. Heath Ledger Joker is probably the best. It doesn't just necessarily have to be Heath Ledger. It's just any type of Joker you think of is menacing. Joker is the one who shot Barbara Gordon in the back, which made her sit in a wheelchair and got the name Oracle, which gives Batman an added advantage of Oracle being in the Batcave and in the computer and typing all what she has to do. Joker is also the guy who captured Robin, Tim Drake version Robin, and turned him into the Joker's son. It's very dark and demeaning. If you watch Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker, you'll see how he did that. Him and Harley Quinn wanted a son, and they didn't want to go through the childbirth, so they decided to adopt. And then Joker knew that Batman had a bunch of Robins throughout the years, so they took Tim Drake and they changed him into Kid Joker. Other things that Joker has done, he has captured all the Bat family and tortured Batman by making Batman think that he cut the faces off the actual, like Barbara Gordon, all the Robins and Nightwings, and just cut their faces off and put bandages on them. Made him think, there's the faces, and he put the faces in front of, Batman while he's sitting in the chair all tied up, and he made him think that he cut their faces out. That's how demeaning Joker can be. It's very bad. That is my list. And again, Heath Ledger as Joker. He's done some really terrible things. He's an agent of chaos, as they say. So that's this week's video. I know I didn't mention a lot, but that's my choices. All 5 of them. If you guys like to see more, leave a comment down below. If you want to be in my next video, leave a like and comment below. Hope you guys had fun. Hope you guys liked the logo in the beginning of this video. Blah!